Yes, we are back. Oh, that's loud. Back again in Train Sim World number 5, Forever the Professional. Back again to do them some more words. Hello. Can I start again? Back again. Hello, YouTube. Back again to do some more exploration of countries. Easy. Within Train Sim World. We've done England, we've done Scotland, we've done Wales, we've done Switzerland. This time it's the Netherlands. Because that's where we are. So we're going to be exploring the Netherlands in this one. We did it before, but now we're doing it again. We're going to start with the easier train to drive and, may even stay with it. That's the plan. If you are watching this on YouTube and you're still here, hello. This is normal. I'm like this all the time. There'll be links in the doobly-doo below to where you can get this route. As in route. There'll be a link down there to the Twitch page where you can watch me live on the Twitchy 6 days of the week doing all sorts of things, including some of this. Apparently this is live. And a link down there to the Discord server as well. And that's it. I can now relax. That bit's done. It's all downhill now. Good evening to Trenty, to Shorty, to Connery, to Stokey, to Nigel, to Dazzy. Yes. Right. That's that done. Okay, so we're going to do the spoolie, that one. That one. The Zwolle Groningen, that one. The one in the Netherlands. That's the one we're doing. He's nimbying. So, we did the upstairs train last time. We started with that first. And, well, it wasn't as exciting as the other train. So this time, we're going to start with the other train. Spoilage, that one. That place. We're going to go... We've done the 801. We'll go a bit later then. We'll do this. We've done Groningen to Zwolle. We'll do Zwolle to Groningen. The date is the 10th of June. Well, it's not when you're watching this on YouTube, obviously. Because it's not going out for a couple of weeks. So it can't be the 10th of June. Unless it's the 10th of June next year. Wouldn't that be spooky if someone was watching this on the 10th of June 2026? No one's going to be doing that. Right, let's get going. I'm going to drive it. Well, I'm going to attempt to drive it. I'm going to put the volume up a little bit more now. It won't be long until the 1st of January 2026. That was quick. Oh, God, I've got track IR on. Turn that off. It will be coming around again. Right. Key on. Forward. Oh, my good God. Okay. That's the master controller. That's good. Keys on. Circuit breaker. Pants. Have I got pants on? My pants are up. So I'm guessing we're unlocking the doors on the right. Because unlocking them on the left would just be ridiculous. People getting off. We just started. Why are they getting off? Have we got lights? Normal headlights. They're like running lights. We had no passenger lights on. Ethan's not here for Christmas this year. I am all by myself this year. I might not even be here myself for Christmas this year. Signal lights are on. Train lighting on. Yep, there's lights on in the train now. We seem to have got the air conditioning on. Reading light. We can turn the reading light on. We will do a boardie check. We got 30 seconds. I'm up, Bone. How goes the trains? Well, I haven't gone anywhere yet. Boardie! There's one. It's okay. We're fine. Shut the door. Found a boardie. Is there an air conditioning panel? What is this lot? It's all foreign. Dispatch cut in. Train emergency vents. Oh God, there's more things. I'm just going to sit down. It's fine. We're just going to sit down. That didn't take long. Not saying it. Not saying it. Am I bored? No. I have a full head of hair-ish. Was a little bit missing, but mainly a full head of hair. Right. Doors are locking. That was a ding-dong. Stop at Meppel. Well, we're moving. Well, that's something. The parking brake... well, of course parking brake released because we're moving. Oh, hello. Well, the aircon's gone off. I'm not Ginger. Is he gay? Well, yes, but... oh, grey. Well, there's bits of that coming through. Bits. On the move in under 7 minutes. That's pretty good going, including some, minutes of waffle in there. Which is normal. And you'll stick thin. Well, I haven't seen you for a while. You might be. Right, where are we stopping? Meppel, Hoogveen, Bielen, Assen, I've heard of that, Harren, Groningen Europa Park, Groningen. I don't do the languages. I can barely do the English languages. What are you expecting from me? Didcot's a tough word. Entertainment. That's entertain. Hey, we did that on Sunday. That's that. Done. Never to be repeated. I've done it now. That's it. It's out of my system. If you put !route in chat, you will get a link. Right, we are accelerating towards the speedy type limit. Slowly. There you go. It's not going to be repeated, McBone. It was a one-off. I've got it out of my system. As enjoyable as it was, it didn't give me what I expected it to give me. So I am done. The aircon's definitely going on and off. Slow Horses is amazing. I actually watched 4 episodes last night of the second series of The Bay, and then ran out of time to watch any more. And it was getting really good, so I need to. There'll be another one watched after this tonight. I haven't seen another train yet. It's very lacking in, other trains. Yeah, ITV. The aircon's definitely cutting on and off, which is what it should be doing as aircon. Well, climate control. It controls the climate, don't you know? If it's getting too hot, it comes on. If it's getting too cold, it comes on. So you've got 12 miles. and 10 minutes to get there, which is why I'm not worried that much about going flat out. I did like Doc Martin. That was one of the shows that I genuinely gutted when it finished. I understand why, but yeah, I did like Doc Martin. I watched that from the beginning. That was one of those, because it's only out like every other year or something, wasn't it? Anyway, the entertainment gone. You've had your opportunity with that one. I will no longer talk about entertainment. We're here to talk about the Netherlands, the Nether regions, the Holland, which is a region of the Netherlands. Netherlands? This place. Train! There we go, we hooted. Whistled, whatever it was this thing did. So yeah, it's about an hour and 6 minutes, I think. 4-line run. Do you go through Merlio Hoot? With the other... I don't know. You tell me. Any fun facts? There's wind turbines. The Netherlands are also famous for windmills. There you go. Holland is a region of the Netherlands. That's what I said. People do presume that the Netherlands is Holland. No, it's not. Holland is an area or region of the Netherlands. That's why I called the stream Exploring the Netherlands and not Exploring Holland, because that would be... I don't know what region of the Netherlands this route is, though. Is this route actually just in Holland? That's a lot of windy turbines. Can you say something? Probably not. Okay, right. Do you want me to explain it in my geography teacher fashion, okay? The country we are in is the Netherlands. Holland is a region of the Netherlands. Think of Holland like Cornwall. So Holland is just an area within the Netherlands. The Netherlands is the country. Another train going the other way. Well, frequent service going the other way now. I have still got 8 miles to go. Yeah, that is my fact of the day. Like the home counties, if that's where you live. Meant confused in general, well that's true. Sounds good for an electrocuted train. You've got 6 minutes to do 7.4 miles. It's quite a long straight track in all fairness. I had what were they called? Mini potatoes or baby potatoes with herbs and butter on them, which you stick in the microwave for 6.5 minutes from Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available, and some corned beef, and it was very nice. Trying to not just survive on like really unhealthy food. I was going to do some peas, but forgot about them. Until the potatoes were done, I was like, oh, I was going to do peas as well. so I was P-less. No, Nico's the one that's scared of microwaves and their ability to cook food. Trent's and chef, remember. How's Ethan today? No idea. New potato. I do like new potatoes. You say chef. Well. Oh god, I'm speeding thing. Slowly-ing. 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 There we go. Oh, we need to ban Colin from the Discord, by the way. So just letting you know, it's going to be happening. And then consequently from the Twitch. Because planting the seed of me now going to Luton to go on the busway. I think that's enough reason, isn't it? I'm getting really confused by communications from our ex-comrade. How can a bus... What? How can there be that many different bus companies in one area? Another train. You plant seeds at Luton. Well, you probably do if you're growing a garden. I actually think we're going to be late now. So maybe I should have done line speed. But I know, Trent. So in the next few weeks, I'm going to be going to Luton and Manchester. I don't know how my life's got this bad. Obviously Manchester to see Ed, so that's justified. I'm not in Bristol. What guided busways? No, there's one in Cambridge. Yeah, we're going to be late. Lateness is going to be a thing. I could meet the love of my life in Luton. Yeah, why is it taking this long to cover this short amount of distance at this speed? Is the calibration all out in the Netherlands? Do they not do speed like the rest of the world? So I was doing like 70 miles an hour. I had like 9 miles to do and it's taking me like 10 minutes. How does that work? I got a minute to do 2 miles. That's not going to happen. There, Calauter it by Cheater. What? Are you having some sort of stroke, Trent? Is that the Dutch version? I think it could be. Alright, let's start doing some braking. Glasgow. I think it'd be quite hilarious me going on the Glasgow subway because apparently it's tiny. me being, you know, not tiny. They calculated it by the animal cheater. What? Trent, I love you, you're an awesome guy and all that, but sometimes you make my head hurt. Right, we're arriving at our first stop. About a minute late, that's fine. Yours hurts all the time. Oh yeah, is the Bristolian fat boy still here? A minute and a bit late, that's okay.
$45 fecking mods. How? Just fecking how? Help me. Oh God, please help me. Keep up the awesome work, Stevie Boo.
Thank you, Ethan. 45 months. Oh God, it's raining now. We'll lock the doors in the rain. I'm going to try and work out where the wipers are. I've seen the wipers somewhere. Be wipers there. Bing bong. Stop at Hoogveen in 12 miles. Let's go. I've just noticed that I need to sack all my moderators as well. Someone joined the Discord server 2 days ago. Has he been welcomed? No. I don't know. So if anybody wants to replace all the moderators, please do let me know. And yeah, I messaged the Bristolian fat one saying, does he want to go out for a meal after the Greatest Gathering? Nothing. Not a response. I've been let down. Look at doing it now. He's exactly thinking for food to be desperate. I just know when I'm not liked. It's fine. And it's definitely quite rainy now. As raininess goes. Quite a cool train. I think I said that last time. Oh, we can do the speeding up thing. Go. Uh-huh. Right, question is then, when we've done this full run, do we do the Funky Gibbon? No. Do we... 26, you know. I forgot what I was going to say. That's it. Do we have another go at the double-decker train? Or do we have a go in the Vectron? Yes. Which? Let's. Right. Hang on. Trent. 2020. Come closer. Trenty. You were given two options there. Do we do the double-decker or do we do the Vectron? The answer to that question is not yes. Okay? Pina! I need to say penis. No, Pina. Yeah, secret option 3 in this instance. Trenty. Anything more than 3. I got very close on microphone then. Anything more than 3 letters comes out as mumbo jumbo. It's true. Wow, hold the front page. We got tomorrow's headline. I should think so, otherwise boyfriend of Pina would be disappointed. Right, we're 8.5 miles from Hoogveen. Where we're probably going to be very late because of the whole distance thing not being great in the Netherlands. Well, yeah, because Pina's ginger. So the roadmap was released today. In other news, it's raining. Anything exciting? More. Well, apparently that Manchester's going to be. It's on the next 3 months again. So that's something. No news on the Japanese route. That seems to have vanished, and we're going to get another cargo route, which is nuclear. Really. And there's some other DB expert thing and something else. Excited for ETS coach? Yes. That will be the end of Fernbus for me. That will be the end of the bus for me. That will probably be the end of OMSI for me. For good. Permanently done. It's one of the things I want to discuss with Ed. I want to see if we can get Ed to York, even if he comes on a Saturday and goes home again. But, you know, poor guy, he needs to get home and get himself active first, and that's going to take him a couple of months, so we'll see. So what did we decide on? Vectron. Yeah, indeed. I think he would watch VODs and things, and he would watch the streams, but I'm guessing, you know, in a hospital, there's no patient Wi-Fi, so he's just relying on data. And, you know, wasting his data on just watching me, I think, you know, he's probably sat watching EastEnders or whatever it is. Used to be you'd have those patient TVs that come down over your bed. I remember Mum being in one. They each had its own phone, so you could actually ring the phone. If you're in hospital, you want to be resting, don't you? You don't want to keep getting bloody phone calls from people. You're like, oh God, visiting times here. Can't you lot go home? Touch wood. If I'm ever in hospital, no, I don't want flipping visitors. Right, 3.5 miles to go. You'll visit me. We can't even get you to a piggin meetup that's an hour away from your house. If we came to Newcastle, you'd have some excuse. You're a busy person. Well, just don't be busy on that day in September. You promised me, Peanut, this year. Not the most exciting of routes, is it? There's not a lot going on as far as scenery. But I suppose that is realistic to the route. So making our way through the Netherlands. Certain wards, though, Nigel, I think restrict the visiting times. Hi, Amy Lou. My dad used to go up there all day. And Mum was in. He'd get up there for like 9 o'clock in the morning and would be there till like 8 o'clock at night. So what's the point of me sitting at home when your mum sat up here on her own? Right. Oh, we're going to be still be about a minute or so late, I think. We got a red after the station. Someone at work spoke to this morning ended up on Saturday evening at A&E with their daughter. Pulled ligament in the back of the knee. So paramedics came out because literally couldn't walk, couldn't move. Paramedics came out and said, right, take it to the hospital. Got to the hospital. Put her in a wheelchair. After 5 hours, nothing. Not seen. There was an old boy when they got there, 80s, 90s, just sat in a wheelchair on his own. And after that 5 hours, this old boy apparently spoke to this guy at work and said, can you help me? And this guy said, yeah, what's up? Well, can you find out how much longer I'm going to be? I've been here since like 2 o'clock and this was like 7 p.m. So, guy at work went and spoke to the nursing staff. Oh yeah, we'll get to him. And at 11 o'clock, I think he said 11 o'clock, this old boy was still there on his own in a hospital, hadn't had anything to eat, hadn't had anything to drink. Nursing staff hadn't done anything with him. About 11:30, he was finally wheeled into triage or wherever and was wheeled back out. At midnight, he was still there. Apparently was waiting for a car to take him home. At midnight, the guy at work and his daughter were leaving and spoke to him and said, are you still here? He said, yeah. He said, it's too late now for them to get a car to take me home, so I've got to spend the night. I felt, and this guy at work said, if this guy, because he's in an electric wheelchair, if this guy could have, walked, the guy at work said, I would have taken him home. I wouldn't have cared where he was. I would have taken him home. So they had to wheel him off into a little side room to spend the night so that he could then be taken home in the morning. I actually thought that could be me one day. Obviously, this guy didn't have any family, was on his own. No one seemed to care that he was there. And he was just sat there quietly, not making a fuss, not shouting and screaming, just waiting for someone to see him. And my initial thought was, that could be me. Which is quite sad, really. Not from my point of view, but it's like, really? The guy at work said, my daughter wasn't a priority. It was you know, she's torn a ligament. This old boy surely was more of a priority. Surely staff must go, hang on, he's been there since 2 p.m. How come, I know people are treated based on their needs. You know, someone coming in with an arm falling off, of course they'd be treated first. Heart attack victims, stroke, yeah, people that have, you know, got a nail through their head, yes, of course they would go first. But poor old chap. And the fact that he just consoled himself to going, yeah, I can't go home tonight, I've got to stay in a side room and I'm going to go home tomorrow. Like, really? So I need to find me that man that will watch Grand Designs and The West Wing with me. I need someone to take care of me. Anyway, in brighter news, it stopped raining. And we're now 7.5 miles from Bielen. Four times during my episode of The West Wing at lunchtime today, I got interrupted. People kept tapping on my shoulder. Oh, sorry. Like, my lunchbox is open in front of me. I'm sat with my headphones on, watching a video. I would just go and sit in the car, but it was a warm day. I just sit and boil in the car. I'm not going to sit with the engine running, the aircon on. It's the West Wing. The West Wing's the clincher. Got 38 episodes to go. Then it's like, then what do I do? Start again, probably. I've tried explaining it to you. You're a lost cause, Ethan. Yeah, up to 12 o'clock, nothing. Quietness. After 1 o'clock, quietness, because everybody else goes to lunch. It's just a bit between 12 and 1. I think it's people trying to get things done before they go to lunch at 1. So now, oh, I'll go and get that, I'll go and attack Steve. Thanks. It's really a very long, straight route, isn't it? No. When I started, I was told lunch was 1 till 2, and I said, well, I'm starting at 7:30. I'd be eating my arm. And for years, I'd always had my sandwiches at 12 o'clock, or as close to I could, with customers coming in. So it's one of those things that, like, 12 o'clock, have my sandwich. It used to be 12 o'clock, have my sandwiches, 8 minutes past 12, carry on working. Most people know, the receptionist knows, so I don't get phone calls, just people walking up to me. Yeah, but, well, I know. I could leave the building. But then, I go at 10 to 5, and I go at 4:30 on a Friday, so I do make sure I watch the episode. That's 43 minutes, so at least even if I get interrupted, I got interrupted, it's like, really? Pause the video, sort them out, go out, carry on watching the video. I think it took me an hour to actually watch a 43-minute episode. Couldn't even eat half of your Toby. Lucky Toby. It was the West Wing. Always a good way of me getting through them. Gravy. Where do you watch? You should have watched the stream. Channel 4? Channel 4? I can't remember. All 4. There you go. Right, we are 1.4 miles from Bielen. And we got double yellows. Well, yellow. I don't know how the system works out here. I don't think anybody does. Nothing can be as complicated as the German signalling system. And I think Germany is going to be the next country. We've done Switzerland. We've done the Netherlands. So we got Germany, America, and that's it. France doesn't exist. Hans, what are you doing with my breakfast? No, not France. I'm going to be in Germany in September. Finally. Can actually fly to Dusseldorf quicker than I can get, cheaper than I can get there by plane. I am going to Wuppertal, yes. So I think rather than make my base Belgium, I think I'm going to make my base Dusseldorfy. You go to Spain next Tuesday. Nice. No, Germany's either on the Monday and coming back Wednesday, or I might go Saturday, come back Wednesday. So you could end up with a week without streams. Do you remember the last time I did that? The last time I had a whole, I think last year when I did Derby. I don't think I streamed. I think I streamed on the Sunday and then didn't stream till the following Sunday. I think that was a week. You can have him, Connor. He's all yours. Right, 9.7 miles to Assen. There's an EN on there. Oh, got wheel slip then. More wheel slip. Okay, back off the throttle a bit. I'm guessing this thing doesn't like putting the power down. Go. So yes, so I've requested the Monday off after York. Because I don't think after being away, I'm going to come home on the Wednesday night. I'm going to have Thursday at home and then Friday back away again. Come back home on the Sunday evening and then go back to work on the Monday. No. So that then leaves me 10 days holiday left to take. So I'm going to have a long weekend in July. Extend the August bank holiday. And then have some time, like maybe beginning November, and then extend Christmas. Done. How are you looking a kilt? You have to shave his legs, which he's not against doing, and he has done when he was bored. Right, 8 miles to go then to Assen. I like the fact that the aircon's going in and out, so it's realistic. So it's not a constant noise, as though it is trying to keep me at one temperature. I bet if it was a winter's day, it was only a winter's tale, that it wouldn't be on as much. It was. I put my jacket on this morning when I left the house, and then opened the window at work. Had the office door open. Wasn't quite air conditioning hot, but you know it's gonna be 28 degrees on Friday. Yeah, when I go to that there Londinium on Saturday, rain. Life Gaming 25. Hey. Yeah, thunderstorms. Thunder. That normally means good weather after thunder. But I want to mow my lawn. I couldn't mow it last week. I could have mowed it yesterday, but I started watching the bay. So that's going to be my Sunday after the stream. We've had a couple of people from Swindon over the years in the stream. Obviously, Nigel's one. We had someone a few years ago as well that was also in Swindon. I think a lot of people don't admit to living here.
Oh, yeah.
God, really? Oh, yeah, Aston. I forget about Aston. Thanks for the follow. One what? One love? We have 5 miles to go. Just the one cornetto. Give it to me. You said you're one. An idiot. If you want. It's definitely lots of straight lines in it. I think when they built the railway network in the Netherlands, it was like, right, we've got 2 towns to join. Get the ruler out. Straight bit of track. It's the Netherlands route. Zwolle to Groningen. And we are going to Groningen. And I did the thing. I did the updatey thing, see? I thought you lot might have done that. Look, well, don't do that one. I didn't do that, did I? You know it's Train Sim World 5. No, don't do that one either. Right, 3.2 miles. Right, aircon's just gone off. So we're going to do the Vectron then after this, which is, I think it's just freighty, isn't it? Or do we do the double decker? I think you wanted the Vectron. Well, 2 people did. The land's all very flat. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be hilly, but I thought it might have been a couple of curves. What's the one with the Flix train? Was that the one? Frankfurt Fulda. The folder about Frankfurt. Current pole train. Really? Just don't do exclamation mark train. Yes, Trent, but not the same. Trent? No, sorry. Yes, Connor, but not the same company. There used to be a brand of condoms called Virgin as well. There you go. There's another one I did as well. You can get flavoured ones. And glow in the dark as well. Right, we are braking towards Assen. Exclamation mark line. When has that been a thing? That's a double-decker train. Well, it's not double-decker. It's got the little bumpy thing at the top where the drivey bit is. That's what it's called. The drivey bit. You know, the bit where you drive it from? The drivey bit. Imagine working at a condom factory. Someone has to. Someone does. I reckon you can get them in different sizes now. No one's going to... Who's going to go in and go, you got any small condoms? Everyone's going to go in and buy the biggest ones they can, and then they're just going to fall off. So, oh, it fell off. That's no good. Amazon. Right, anyway, we are arriving here. Only a minute and a bit late. What, 2 minutes late? Done. Oh, that's a thing, Peanut. Roof is a strange shape. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Arrows. Yeah, it's a very pointy station. Hangs out over the street as well, and over this building. Oh, there's the steps going down. Ah, so that's an entrance. So you go in and go down there, and then come up over here and up on the platform, I suppose. I'm looking down on myself. Locking doors. Doors are locking. Right, 13 miles to Harran. Where we're due in 9 minutes. I don't think we're going to cover 13 miles in 9 minutes, are we? Tomorrow, by the way, I haven't done this yet, have I? I'm late. What are we doing? What's tomorrow? Wednesday. Oh yeah, the bus in multiplayer tomorrow. Hopefully it works well. Going to be on the Berlin map doing one of the new routes. And then if it works okay, next week we'll do the other one. And then who knows what. Thursday night we've got some British Railways in the Roblox type thing. Friday night we're quizzing. Not here Saturday because I'm going to be in that there London in it. Then we're back Sunday lunchtime to do some more of the farming type things. It actually runs okay, Peanut, but last week we had issues. No Steve Saturday. No. I don't know how long I'm going to be in that there London. I was thinking I would only be there a couple of hours and come back again. If it's peeing down with rain, then you might get something from me going, I'll be home at 4, I'll be streaming at 6. Huddersfield. Sherlock. That's what you need to watch, Connor. Watch the first episode of Sherlock. They all talk weird here. You talk weird. You know, we've heard you talk, remember? Not as weird as Michael, but you talk weird. No, you don't talk properly. Why, I bet. You're like a high-pitched version of Ant and Dec. Michael is something else. It's definitely not a lot of, quite an easy map to do, I should imagine. Flat land, straight bits of track, plonk some trees down. I could do this route. Easily peasily, lemony squeezily. Idea 9.7 miles to Harran. Hello, Harran. Silverstone's nowhere near me. We're closer to you in September than you will be to me when you're in Silverstone. So, you know, you come to us in September. We're going to be at Shildon. That's even closer to you. There's no excuses, little penis Pina. Connor will come when he plucks up courage to tell his mum. Reminds me of Ethan. Right, we're at 8.4 mile. If you're wondering and you're confused, we got a Discord meetup at the York Railway Museum at the end of September. There's a thingy at the top of the room in the top of the Discord server. If you're interested in coming along and meeting some of us weirdos, we're going to be at the York Railway Museum and potentially Locomotion at Shildon on the Saturday, and then may do something on the Sunday, and then might be doing something on the Friday night. There's a couple of us going on Friday into Doncaster, go out clubbing. I don't think we're going to be there in 3.5 minutes somehow. Well, it can happen at any age. I'm 26. Well done. And the rest. Well, yeah, 20. Well, okay, 26 and 4 months and 1 day. There you go. I was a bit late with the honking then. It's a nicely done route. I like this train. It's just not a lot going on visually, is there? Hopefully the Vectron will be better. I think it's got just about the right amount of gaps between stations. I think that's the problem we had with the doubly decker one. It was only stopping at there's only like 3 stops I think on the whole thing. No, you're just thinking of yourself with pigtails and wearing school uniform now, Amy Lou, aren't you? No, Pina. We couldn't even get ourselves organised enough to do the nice bus route in the Isle of Wight. We run out of time. Yeah, but the thing you need to think of there, Amy Lou, is Ethan also has the same fantasy. Uh-huh. Just got to grow his hair a bit more to get the pigtails. Thought we had a bend then. It's quite easy from a, you know, attractive effort point of view. There's a word. Oh no, we're going slightly uphill. That's it. It's all completely flat. It's not. We're now going slightly uphill. You're an attractive effort. We've only seen you in shadow, Pina. We can't possibly comment. But I'm not the sort to do the micro smutty type. Really? Not the fishnets underneath it then, Amy Lou. Or the long grey socks up to your knees. Anyway, Train Sim World stream. Never understand high socks. Yeah. We can get the socks that literally come up almost to your knees. Is the 18 plus logo on? No. No one will get this far on YouTube. It's fine. It's like about a 6-minute maximum on YouTube. What's the point of wearing shorts? Don't wear shorts then. It's quite simple. Yeah, you're probably, you know, short shorts, Pina. That's a lot of cargo wagons. Right, braking. Alright, so it's supposed to be an hour and 10-minute route, so this must be the penultimate stop, I reckon. And then we'll jump in a Vectron. See if we can get that moving. I like to move it, move it. We're a couple of minutes late, it's fine. Is the train running? Yes. Is it a couple of minutes late? Yes. Well, at least it'll be here. This is busy. Only on the route where they all stand up with their arms out. But no, you don't see standing passengers in this. They all sit down. Shame, really. It'd be nice if they modelled like a commuter train where they all sat down and you then had standing passengers. That would be quite well done. I wonder if we're going to get any more of the London Overground routes in Train Sim World 6. Because they've only got a couple more to do, I think. That was a noise. And one of those is only a little one. Groningen Europa Park. Europa Park. I read that wrong, didn't I? It's Europa Park. We do get the extension to Richmond, yeah, which I think that almost should have been there originally, but I reckon the creator was probably rushed, because when I did it, we carried on a bit further. What's the point? Yeah, there's that theme park in Belgium, isn't there? I wonder if there's one in Germany. Is there a theme park in Germany? Ooh. Germany's quite big, though. There's lots of water parks in Germany. Well, if I went to one of them, they'd think, you know, blue whale had, you know, come ashore. Yeah, I wouldn't if I was you, fatty. Is Ethan a little chubby? Yes. Only to get worse now. He's a layabout. Right, we are about to arrive at Groningen Euro. Why can't I say it? Europa Park. Too many P's in there and euros. Wow, flirty much, Peanut? Yeah, he'd be happy with that. I gained a bit of time back there, look. Less than 2 minutes late now. And stop. Be-da, 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 be. Yeah, you can have him, Pina. He's all yours. That was echoey. Right, so it should be one stop to go. One stop to go. Bong. Bong. There we go. Final stop. Where we're due in 20 seconds. I don't think that's going to happen either. That is quite funny. I've never had, and if I ever do get to bloody America, I'd love to have a proper barbecue. Proper. Like stuff you see on these like TV shows and stuff, you know, where it's just slow cooked. Can we come round? Can't even get you to flipping Doncaster. Right, we are arriving at our final destination. Okay, wasn't expected to go over here. A funky station. That'd be awesome, Peanut. They've got pre-select gearboxes on them. I've driven a bus with a pre-select. They take a bit of getting used to. You can drive them in full auto as well, though. Well, with a pre-select, you pick the next gear. So it's got a little it's got a little knob. You should be used to that. So you put it into first, accelerate, and then while you're accelerating, you put it into second. You come off the throttle, it changes gear, accelerate again, it's in second. And then you then put it into third, come off the accelerator, it changes into third. So, and changing down works the same way. So when you're still accelerating, you go down to second, come off the brakes and come off the throttle and go on the brake, it will change down to second. It's just a case of thinking about changing gear differently. You pick the gear before you need it. But yeah, Route Masters are the same. And it's almost like you pre-select it, but there's also an auto version in the Route Master. Route Masters, the early ones, did they have power steering? I don't know. The later ones certainly did. Right. Anyway, that is the one. I love a Route Master. It's one of those iconic pieces of British transport. There's loads still going. There was a YouTube channel, Route Master for Hire, that sort of closed down handily, going off to sell it around the world on a boat. But a couple of people that were on that channel have now started up their own channel where they're restoring old buses. Unfortunately, I haven't put out much content. But yeah, it's awesome that they've got a whole sort of restoration community about them. I'm not a bus weirdo, but I love the fact that some of the old stuff is getting preserved. Anyway, right, so we picked the same route. We're going to do Vectron. Drive this tank train from Zwolle to Onen Depot. Well, we've got to drive a tank train then, haven't we? Considering we did things the other day. We won't do the full run in it. We'll do a bit of it, and then we'll do the doubly-decker thing. Yeah, the channel... let me see if I can find it. Hang on. The channel where most of them went to is now called... he says scrolling. London Bus Restoration. That's the name of the channel. They've owned, last video they put out was 7 months ago. Shame actually, because the younger guy on there is really interesting, really entertaining. Got quite a good personality. Seems to know what he's talking about, but they haven't put much content. It's not a tank. I was expecting tanks, not tanks. I was thinking tank train, not tank train. Right, what do we got going on here then? Headlights, yeah, that seemed to be a thing. That's the thing. Master key is on. That's good. Is this thing the one with the other key? Train lines are on. Main circuit breaker is closed. My pants are up. If I was wearing any. There's a train. That seems to be throttles off. That's brake. That's me being horny. That's direct brake. That's fine. Is there any proof? Pina, you horny toad. Where are we going? Stop at... oh, we've got to go and then stop at Onan Nord sidings, apparently. God, there's a red down there. I'm guessing we're waiting for some of these passenger trains to move out the way. But yeah, if my... this isn't me moaning, by the way. If my entertainment stream that I did... not say it wasn't enjoyable when I was doing it, but I didn't really get the feedback afterwards that I was hoping for, really. The continuation of the conversation. Then the next one I would have done would have been films that I watch, and then the one after that would have been YouTube channels that I watch. But now you will never know. Right, let's release the train brakes. That's not releasing. Okay, so it means it's something I haven't done then. That's on. Let's release that then. You're still not going. Okay. Is this going to be one of those where I'm not going to be able to do... lots taken in one go. Yeah, and I get that. And that was almost intentional. That I wanted to give people a lot of information. In a hope that at least something would actually start a conversation. Right, let's just try releasing that. So that's brake has now says released. I'll come off that. We're still not going anywhere. I should have done a train training on the Vectron, shouldn't I? Because now the brake's going back up again. Okay. Well, you know, you said we were going to do the Vectron. We're not doing the Vectron. We've tried the Vectron. It didn't work. Right, let's do the doubly decker thing again then. Let's do that. Because it was ahead of its time, the Route Master. I forget, there's lots of variations of the Route Master as well. And it was going for a very long time. And it was only the having to get wheelchairs and stuff on board that it came out of service in the same thing that stopped the Pacer. Oh God, no, this thing is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Okay. Well, going to forward. That's something. Doors are opening. That's also something. So your train brake, your throttle. What are you? Your reverser in forward. You're a dead man. Okay. Well, you say, thing is, and this isn't me moaning about accessibility. You know, when I was having to carry babies and stuff around, it was just given that, which is the thing that annoys me now when you see people get onto trains, buses, with this expectation that their massive, great big pushchair with their 4-year-old in that could walk is going to get on this bus or train and take up a load of space. Well, when I was having to do it, we'd had a separate buggy to take into town with us to put the baby in, and then you stood at the bus stop, someone held the baby, someone folded up the buggy, you got on, you put the buggy on the little rack just inside the driver's door, you sat the baby on your lap. Wheelchairs, yes, I agree with. Accessibility for wheelchairs, great. What I think they should be restricted to, though, is wheelchairs. Right, how am I going to get this thing going? Yes. Well, that was easy. You're very high up. Yeah, pushchairs are certainly smaller then. They weren't... Wow, that was close to the roof. This is definitely a weird train. And these things are still running in service now. So I can see why they did this route, because of this train. Alright, back to Arsen. So we're not stopping at this Europa Park. Stop clicking. We're not stopping at Europa Park this time. We're going straight on through. Well, yeah, it's definitely... But there's bits of Germany, though, that just because they've got long, straight bits of track doesn't mean that it's high speed. Just because it's straight doesn't mean it's fast. It just seems really odd being this high up. You know, you sat literally just underneath the lines, because the pantograph's right back there, so you're not far on that. Obviously this panel used to open to be able to link two trains together, so you used to be able to walk straight through. You can't anymore, so you're not really gaining anything by having the driver up here now. But I can see the original remit was that the driver's up out the way. But you've got steps 5, 6, 7 going down there behind you. Are we actually going to be speeding up at some point? Oh yeah, we've got an 81 now. I'm saying, because getting there at this speed is going to take a long time. And this is supposed to be quicker than the other way. We're getting no tractive noise. So I'm guessing the motors are underslung. So we're not hearing them because we're so far up. Quite quick though. What you want really on this route is a complete stopping service. I'm going to take a long weekend in July, so I've got no time off this month. I'm going to take a long weekend in July. I'm going to extend the August bank holiday, and then a week off in September. So the week before the Doncaster/York meetup, and then I'll probably take a weekend off end of October, beginning of November, and then I'll have enough holiday left to be able to extend Christmas, so I can then have 2 weeks off for Christmas, which will be very nice. So I'll finish the Friday before Christmas and then go back on the Monday after New Year. We don't know what to do about Christmas. Part of me thinks just home here, chill out for 2 weeks, you know, streams like it is normally. Part of me thinks just go away for Christmas. But then I'd only be sat in a static caravan somewhere on my own with no internet, just doing nothing, and it's going to cost me £1,000. So the negative side there is, well, just save myself £1,000 and stay at home where I've got internet. Yeah, you do Christmas getaways. Maybe New Year. I might go away for New Year. You never know, I could have the love of my life with me by Christmas. You don't know how life is going to unfold. Be a good atmosphere, but not sort of thing I want to do on my own. It's enough courage for me to pluck up to go and do Wuppertal on my own. And that's going to be the quickest trip to Wuppertal in the world. It's going to be get there on the train, do the full line there and back on the suspended railway, and then back on the train to where I'm staying. And then probably back in the hotel room to sit on my laptop and watch some shows. I've never been one for spending a long time in places. Is there a tram in Wuppertal? I know there's the buses. I'm not that sad. I'm going to do OMSI bus routes. Well, that is it. That's the suspended railway. That's the whole reason for going. Well, you are what can only be described as sad, Peanut. It was unintentional. Yeah, that's what they all say. I'm not saying it's a scaling issue with this. Well, I don't know, it might not be as bad now. It just seemed on the way there that the distance wasn't coming down at the rate that it should be. Maybe it seems better now. It's definitely not the most exciting of routes. Yeah, I've got, what, 7 minutes to do 7 miles. And I'm doing 79 miles an hour, so that should be easily doable. Lots of buttons and switches on this thing. Quite interesting from the driver's point of view, because you've got quite a high, like, commanding drive, but like trying to drive a bus from upstairs. It's like slightly weird perception. It's like, okay, this is slightly, I suppose, a bit like being a 747 pilot. You're so far up and forward, you can't actually see anything. Would you like pushing buttons? Oh, on a train. Yeah, it's a fairly busy line. Just not that exciting as far as the driving is concerned. Not quite as bad as the Switzerland one, where I literally didn't touch the controls. Although the other one did have a speedy controllery thing. Yeah, so it's still got 4.4 miles to go. It just doesn't seem to be going down as at the rate that it should be. Yeah, okay, we might be there early. One of those situations where I think it's probably quite dangerous from a driver's point of view, because the track is just long and straight. You can get a bit complacent. Yeah, most places rely on, like, you know, going under a bridge, going, you know, round a certain bend or landmarks. But this is just, you know, brake when you get to that tree. It's not like there's any windmills about. Well, yeah, there is the whole tunnels and gradients thing. It says not many bridges. So we're going, well, okay, the road went under us then, but not many bridges going over. Oh, you're gonna make a good bloody driver then, aren't you, Pina? Relying on your twat nav. Well, I suppose if you're bus driving and you're on a route, you'll get to know the route. So you don't really need to know where you are. You just need to know what the route is. Oh God, that's useful. Well, yeah, if you're doing rail replacement services, then yeah, that is planned, isn't it? You know you've got to get to the other end. It's just not bad business for coach companies, because you've got to have a coach sat there for the arrival of every train that's going to the place that they can't get to. Well, yeah, I suppose in the event of a breakdown or suddenly a engineering issue, and they've all of a sudden got to get people off and send them somewhere in coaches, there's got to be coach companies that are on standby. And then therefore you've got to have drivers that are on standby. Hey, look at that. Early and stopped exactly on... Oh, wrong button. Exactly on the mark as well. That's not bad going. Doors are open. Right. Let's go up. Oh, God. What the hell? Where am I going? So, yes, we've got to go down these little stairs. So this used to be the bit where you used to be able to go through, or down there, I should imagine. That used to be the bit where you used to go through. And now we're down here, where there's no passengers. Hello? Ow. Oh. Is there a door there? Hello? We got to press the button. Oh, that's funky. Hey, these are a bit posh, aren't they? But no passengers. Not one. Mild May Mark II, yeah. It's like he's having a poo. Right, where am I going? Up there? Up there. Okay. Okay. I can't sit down and miss it. Thank you. That was a noise. I'm leaving a minute late. It's fine. 39 miles to Zwolle. It's definitely an interesting design. I'd like to see one in real life, just to see if it does look that weird. Right, 39 miles. And that's the final stop. Yeah, so next time, exploring Germany. Got to pick which route to do and on that one though. Maybe one we haven't done for a while. She might do the S-Bahn. Quite like the S-Bahn. Maybe we'll do that again. Tomorrow night though, back with some buses. Doing the bus in multiplayer. Thursday night, trains again in Roblox, doing British Railways. Another one where if you want to join us, you can. So if you've got the Robloxy thing, you can join us on Thursday for some trains. Friday night, doing some quizzing. Saturday, not here, in London. And then Sunday lunchtime, back here with some farming. I probably, when we get European Coach Simulator, I probably would do a stream. So maybe do a longer stream or a couple of streams where we do the thing that I did in Fernbus, where we visit every capital city. So maybe that would be a good tour. So like a coach tour. So we start off in London and we do a series of streams where we visit every capital city. So we go London to Paris to the next capital and then work our way round the map, visiting every capital city of every country that's in the map / pro mods. Hopefully, yeah, the modelling of the coaches is good. I've got a feeling we'll see that before Christmas, because they wouldn't have teased it if it wasn't like coming soon-ish. And I think there'll be more teases to come. I wouldn't be expecting, surprised to see something like passengers boarding or passengers waiting. Do it as MP and vote one off at every city stop. Oh wow, that's harsh. I like your thinking. Or we know Ethan wouldn't make it past Paris. Harsh, true. No, I think that'd be quite a good thing because it almost gives you a reason to do it as well. So like, right, we're starting in London, we're going to end up back in London. It's a bit like a long way home type situation. Low power buses, small roads. Oh yeah, because coach mods. Look at the modding community for ETS2. What's it going to be like with coaches? How many people are going to do like old coaches? Yes, please. Give me something old and manual. Yeah, I'll be all over that. I used to only drive manual in ETS2 at the start, but now everything's flipping auto. It'll be the end of TML when SCS do launch Coach Sim. That'll be the end of TML because no one will buy Fernbus. That'll be it. And I've got a feeling what we're going to see is European Coach Sim. Then I think we'll see American Coach Sim. Well, Bus Sim, it'd probably be called in America because they don't really call them coaches, do they? The Greyhound buses. Oh, they got their flipping Vectron working. So yeah, we'll see. Looking forward to that. Obviously, we've got the next iteration of Train Sim World to come in, September? So looking forward to that, seeing what we're going to be getting for the next version of this. There's not a lot else this year that's really coming out, so I think it'll be that in September, and then hopefully something from SCS before the end of the year. That'll be quite nice. There's no new farm sim this year. That'll be next year. There'll be a new map. Definitely not a lot going on his route, is there? "31 miles of just straight track with a little bit of a bend occasionally." I do miss Flight. I said this last week. Problem is, it's one of those with multiplayer. Flight was amazing when there was a lot of us doing Flight. You know, that jet flight we did, there was what, 9 of us or 11 of us or something. You know, it took us what, about 40 minutes to get us all off the stands and taxi, line-ups taxi, and then taking off, and then trying to get us all to land. And we've had GA flights where there've been like half a dozen of us, and having us all sat around at the start and all lining up to take off, and you know, you're taking off and someone's having issues, and you're looking back round and someone's still trying to take off. That's the bit that I like, and the fact that, yeah, you get up in the cruise, you put the autopilot on, and that's the point where, yeah, we play some tunes, or I just sit and talk crap about ball thumbing, and then you've got the landing and, you know, finding the runway, landing, parking up, and then done. I do miss that. Problem is, we haven't really got the community now that does Flight. So I almost adapt myself and what we do to the things that the community like. I never thought I'd be doing bloody Roblox. If you'd have told me 5 years ago I'd end up streaming bingo on a Saturday night, I'd be like, well, that's the end, surely. But we're getting people wanting to join in with that stuff, and it is enjoyable. You know, doing a quiz like we're doing this Friday, you know, 10 people. Like, yep, I'll have a bit of quizzing on Friday night. That's great. Trucking, 3 of us. Farming, 4 of us. I did hate Train Sim World when this first came out. Although, I was saying that, when CSX Heavy Haul first came out and I did that, it was great. I then carried on doing Train Sim Classic, and I did say I think it'll always be Train Sim Classic. Now I haven't got Train Sim Classic installed. I'm going to have to reinstall it soon for reasons, but it's not even installed currently. Hey, life happens, Peanut. Genuinely, I love the fact that you still keep in touch. I love the fact that your life's going well and you're doing something you enjoy. You've got a man friend in your life that's obviously making you happy, and it really is great. People in the community that have been around a long time, you do have this connection to them. And it's awesome when, you know, life happens, but they occasionally pop in to go, "Hi, remember me?" You know, Harry that left in December, left to focus on life, to focus on work and his apprenticeship, and being honest, needed a break from me, and I get that. I messaged him today. Or emailed him today because I wanted to get some advice on Luton, and responded back. He's off to Germany this weekend for a week on his own. It's awesome. Yeah, I miss him as part of the community. Of course I do. I miss him as part of my life. Of course I do. But it's great to know that someone that was part of the community for a while is actually doing okay and is having a great life. So it's almost nice to get that. Okay, good. You know, I was here, or we were here for a bit of their life, and now they're going off and doing their own thing. Yeah, Amy Lou was around years ago when we were doing the whole OMSI thing and joining in with stuff. Then took a break to focus on work, and life happens and friends happens, and now back a little bit and being involved. That's awesome. And if Harry ever decided that he wants to be part of the community again, welcome him with open arms, of course, because he's one of us. You know, Dorset's taking a breather from us to sort personal issues out and sort their head out, and hopefully comes back to join in with some streams from time to time. Brilliant. You know, Larwood now has changed jobs, which means he's not on UK time anymore. So has already told me he's not going to be around on Fridays for the next couple of months. Well, I think that's going to be the case with Saturdays, not around during the week. Hopefully, once life happens and changes, he'll come back. If not, well, you know, I was here for 8 years and spent a lot of time with Larwood, and got a lot to thank him for. It's all been positive. And it's great. There have been people that have left the community under a cloud over the last 8 years that we've been doing this. Some, being honest, I'm glad they went. And some I would never have back. There are others that I do miss. Others that left because of influences from others that I kind of do miss. But, you know, life moves on for all of us. Yeah, Pina. The only time that Larwood ever used to go back onto Australian time was Christmas. So yeah, so I'm missing my weekend watching buddy. So no one to watch shows with on a Saturday now, especially now I'm at home more. And on a Sunday, it's like, oh. Which is why I thought the film club, TV club thing might have been a thing, but alas. I'll have to just start doing housework and gardening now on a Sunday afternoon. It's getting a bit foggy out here. Well, we got 23 miles to go. Yeah, I think this was the route I did when I did this the first time. I jumped straight into this train and was like, oh, that's a boring route. And then when I did the other train and thought, actually, you know what? It's actually not as bad in the other train. The route itself probably is quite realistic. And it probably is 39 miles of nothing. It's just not very exciting. But we will trundle on to the end. It's like the East Coast and a HST, yeah. Lots of gaps. Well, when I looked at going up to Doncaster by train, But which when we did York, or 18 months, no, 2.5 years ago, when we did York, I think I got Swindon to York for like 40 quid return or something silly, or 60 quid, something like that, and it was a no-brainer really, to do it by train, especially because I was there and back the same day. So that was like, yes, that's going to be a lot easier than just doing it in the car. And although I was knackered when I got home, it was fine. This time to try and do it by train was a lot more expensive than what it's going to cost. Well, I was going to drive, but Richard's now offered to taxi. I still might actually drive, because I might stay on the Sunday night up there. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so going by car anyway this time. We're not going to York anyway. We're Doncaster's where we're staying, not York. So I'd only have to do Swindon to Doncaster. Then I've got to get the bus into town. And when I come back on the Sunday, I think I'll get the bus home, because I wouldn't want to pay for 3 days parking, leaving the car in the train station. No, it's just a faff. Just put your bags in the back of the car and just get in the car. Even if it is like a 5-hour drive from here. Not for a while, Peanut, because they got cameras on them now. You got to be careful. Right, it's now turned into a very misty Trundle. I used to be able to, and have. No, not really. Well, you're young, you got hormones are flowing. Sometimes you've got to do something. And if you just happen to be at the back of a bus, well, you know. I was young, it was Birmingham. It was, you know, given then. I think it's quite eerie out there. It's got a certain, like, misty, like, horror film vibe to it. Murder on the longest straight line in the world, yeah. Yeah, not the Orient Express. I thought slightly more audio coming from the right-hand side as well, because we sat slightly over to the right. No, we're in the middle, but there's more audio coming from the right than the left. Turn my head. I'm like an owl. I can turn all the way around. I have to go back now before I snap my neck. There you go. You know, we had the discussion last week about the longest distance between two train stations. This is definitely a long way at these speeds. My track IR is on. There you go. I just don't use it in it. I don't know why I don't use it in this, but it is on. That's me using track IR now. I can't turn my neck all the way around like that. Blind. No, I can see. Yeah, Train Sim Classic I used to use track IR. I use it in OMSI, I use it in ETS2, I don't use it in this. Oh god, we got a 50 coming up, means I've got to do something. Gonna have to be some braking. Well, it's a good thing you're here tonight, Pina, otherwise I'd have been talking to myself. Wonder how Lotus is doing. Yeah, I think that's just a big disaster. There's a red down there. Red where it is gone now. 6:45 to 2:45. That's not bad hours. I've always said I would have loved the job doing 6 till 2. So earlies. I could cope with earlies. Get up at like 4:30. In work for 6. Home at like 2:20. You probably go to bed about 9. In that case, I could cope with that. Yeah, my niece tells me it's like nights. But they used to work 4 nights a week. So we'd work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. They wouldn't work a Friday night. So he'd get up on a Friday morning and then wouldn't be back at work until Monday night. So you've got all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday. So you get a 4-day weekend. Yeah, I hated when I worked at Curry's. I hated the 8 o'clock finish. Well, it wouldn't be 8 o'clock. It'd be like 9 o'clock for me because of cashing up and stuff. Or you'd always have a customer come in at like 5 to 8 wanting to buy a flipping fridge on finance. So you'd get home at like 9:20 at night, and then you couldn't really do anything in the morning because you started at 11. Yeah, my mate used to work at Honda here in Swindon when he was there, and he didn't like the 2 till 10 because they just used to do a morning and evening shift. They didn't do nights, so it was mornings or evenings. So he hated the 2 till 10 because you got up in the morning and you couldn't do anything because you got in at like 10:30. Chances are you'd still be awake till probably midnight, and then you go to bed. If you're up again at 8, well, you've still only got a few hours. You can't really go anywhere. You got paid overtime? No. It's part of the contract. You used to get out of decorators merchant as well. Customers that come in at like a minute to 12 on a Saturday, or I'll be stood there with my coat on inevitably at 5 to 12. Right, close at 12. 5 to 12, stood with your coat on, waiting. A van will come up. You're like, really? So you quickly take your coat off and put it onto the counter, and they come in and go, oh, glad I caught you. Yeah, I need to get this paint mixed. Really? I've just shut the machines down, but okay. Sometimes still there at like 12:30, 20 to 1. I think any extra for it, like. worked at a place before that. We opened on a Saturday morning, and it used to be me and the finance director used to take it in turns to do a Saturday. And one Saturday, he messaged me, and it was like 11:30. He messaged. We were supposed to stay up until 12, and it was like 11:30, and he messaged me and went, "I haven't had a customer since like 9:30. I think there might be a fault with the shutters, and they might come down." I said, yeah, fair play. Like following week, I didn't have a customer from like 9 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock, I was like, "Oh, sod this, I'm going home." So I messaged him and went, "Those flipping shutters are faulty again. It just fell down." And the following week, like 11:15, he messaged me and was like, "This is getting ridiculous now. We need to get these shutters repaired." And we had a conversation on the Monday and went, "Look, there has to be a cut off, otherwise we won't be opening." So we both agreed if we didn't have a customer in between 9 and 11, then we could shut early. I'm not going to say that on a couple of Saturdays I had customers pay cash. I gave them manual receipts because they came in at like 10 o'clock. Gave them their change, all legitimate, and then put the sales through on the Monday so that he could look on the system and see that I had no customers in after 9. So at 11 o'clock I went home. I told him eventually, and he admitted the fact that he did the same, and he was the boss. So yeah, those are the times when I really enjoyed working a Saturday morning. He used to get told off by the company secretary because he wanted to come downstairs and help me. We got on so well. Like if I had a delivery coming in and I was busy, he'd come running down and jump on the forklift and go out and unload a delivery. Neither of us had a forklift license. And he used to get the company secretary going, "Is Pete down there?" "Yeah, he's serving a customer." "Well, tell him I need him up here." "Well, he's serving a customer." One of those jobs where I absolutely loved it. They got sold. It was bought by 2 local businessmen as a tax write-off. They had to own it for 10 years or they paid tax on the company they sold. So they owned it for exactly 10 years, and I was there for 8.5 of those 10 years. And then they sold it to a national health and safety company who went from it being about customers and selling the best products and stuff to being about profit. So left, shut down about a year later, went out of business. So I'm glad I left. But it was one of those jobs where it was just a joy to go in. Me and the director, when we were short-staffed, we'd have to get the vans out. We had deliveries, so we had a van driver, so we'd have to get everything picked, get everything ready to go on the vans. And there were sometimes we were still taking orders up to like 5 p.m. Didn't have time to get stuff picked apart from in the mornings. So we both agreed we'd come in early in the morning to get it picked. So one morning I got there at like 7:30. He was already there, out in the warehouse picking stuff. I think the next morning I got there at like 7. At one point he got there at like 5:45 in the morning to beat me because I'd got in at 6 o'clock. And he was like doing it on purpose. It's one of those times where it's one of those things in life that you do that with a company you love. You don't care what time you start. You don't care what time you finish. You don't care about the overtime. You don't think about things like that. You just do it because of the love for the job. My place now isn't like that. Those are the sort of jobs that you want in life, where you know you're valued. Yeah, I was actually invited to his wedding last year. Didn't go. I bumped into him in Sainsbury's. Hey, awesome guy. Well, yeah, when the company got sold, because he was the finance director, he wasn't needed. So he went freelance. He's a freelance accountant. So he was looking after the accounts for the two owners of the company because they had lots of properties and other businesses. So he was doing that. Both of those guys died. No, one died. I think the other one might still be alive. And he's just a freelance accountant now. Awesome guy. He's into photography. He'd get up at like the early hours of a Saturday morning, and on more than one occasion he drove to Cornwall before the sun came up to take photos of the sun coming up, and then would drive home again. And I'm not going to say his name, but his photography is really good. He's been published in some photography magazines as well. I got a lot to thank him for. He's one of the few people in my career and in my life I've got to thank for. He had a lot of time for me, and we got on really well. No, he wasn't the one that dragged me out of my shell. That was the manager that got me into motorbikes and curries and You're playing Fortnite, really? There's one game I will never play. I never thought I'd do Roblox. I did say that about Roblox. Yeah, but I didn't know what Roblox was. In all fairness, I thought Roblox was something. I thought it was one game. I thought it was something like Fortnite or Minecraft. I never realised that it was its own like universe, as it were, with lots of games within it. We still need to find more. There's still more things that we need to find, you know, rather than just end up doing bingo. Thing is, you can say that about anything, McBone. People wouldn't see what the interest is in doing this. Or farming. Some people don't get farming. That's my chill. I do need to one weekend I will do a longer farming stream. Yeah, I quite liked the latest season. I think once the hype dies down, I will go to his pub because it's not that far away. I'm sure I've been there when it was the Windmill, whatever it was called. First series is the best one. It is up that way. Well, yeah, Chipping Norton way. So Burford's Chipping Norton Road. She won't drive that far, Ethan. There's no trains near there. At some point, you've got to do things without Mummy. Well, yeah, but you say that. On the TV show, that the price of his carvery on a weekend was 20 quid. I think that's quite reasonable. I think that's not bad. 20 quid for a carvery. But it's almost one of those... Yeah, but you go into any posh pub, you'll pay a lot of money. Although I think James May's pub is still reasonably priced. Not as heavily promoted. He does promote it on all the shows he does. on his YouTube channel. That's one I'd like to go to, because it's a bit out the way. It's down near Shaftesbury. You do the spotted cow. I haven't been in a spotted cow for years. It's got to be 10 years. We walked past the Sun the other week when we went to Cokewater. No, a pub called the Sun. Right, we have 2 miles from the end. Not a bad chilled route, this one, actually. It is one you could just sit on and, you know, well, chill. In our slightly strange looking train. I think I'll get my interest back in ETS2 when we get virtual trucking companies. Although I think I'd be more interested when we get rigids. That spark a bit more interest for me. Certainly if they go down to 7.5 ton rigids. So if you can have a small rigid and then work your way up, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Because from a stream point of view then, that'd be quite interesting to go, right, 7.5 tonners. And if that cargo thing works with loading it, I'm sure people would then do vans that would only take small amounts of cargo. Then that would be interesting. So if they're modelled well. I don't think that had happened, Tiger, because of the map restrictions. But I would like the fact that, yeah, if you only had a 7.5 tonner, you can only take smaller cargoes. Consequently, you get less money. Which means you'd have to do more of those jobs to earn more money, as you would do in real life. Anyway, in we come. What a bad little run. Again, can see the reasoning for the route and the reasoning for the train. Oh, look at that. 2 yards. Yeah, I don't think it's a busy route. Yeah, it was the idea. Again, I like truck and logistics. There's talk about doing that in multiplayer, but we never have because no one's got it. I really like truck and logistics. That's one I'll go back to at some point because it seemed to getting better and better with every update. Although I think the last time I played it, it crashed. Done. But it does go to show that adding features to a game that may have been out a while does keep the game interesting. Whereas I think the problem with this, and I'm not knocking Train Sim World, I don't think guard mode adds anything. Does anyone use it? Probably not. And I've said this lots of times. Get rid of the repairing fences. Get rid of the putting up posters. Get rid of the flipping replacing bins. Get rid of guard mode. Give us more trains, more routes, longer routes. That's what we want. If they said, right, we're going to take away guard mode, we're going to take away all those stupid other features, but we're now going to be able to give you routes that are longer, I think there'd be no one would go, oh, really? I think anybody would be disappointed if guard mode went and you didn't have to repair fences anymore. We'll see what happens in Train Sim World 6. Especially now, I think the support next time for the older consoles is going to become lesser. And well, I thought guard mode was almost a step in for multiplayer. That you could have guard mode in a multiplayer environment. So 2 of you, one being the guard, one being the driver. It's unreal. We know putting multiplayer in is possible. Local hosting and multiplayer is possible, even on one line. I just think that would be so cool to do. A bit like we got in British Railways that we're doing on Thursday, shameless plug. Anyway, there we go. We will end there. Next time, next week, back exploring Germany, where I might do a couple of different routes, actually. We can only do one on this because there is only one. I don't know, Daniel. I will find out in August, I should imagine, when I go down to the Dovetail offices. But then I won't be able to say anything because of NDAs. But then we'll find out in September. Yes, we will see. So there we go. So Germany next week. Tomorrow night, back doing some more of the bus thing in Berlin, doing one of the new routes. Thursday, the trains in Roblox. Friday night, we got some quizzing. Not here on Saturday because we're going to London. And then Sunday lunchtime, back with some farming and then more things back next week. So there we go. So thanks to you lot in chat for keeping me company this evening, especially Pina. Thank you, Pina. It's been nice chatting to you. And thanks to Ethan for resubscribing, Life Gaming for following, and the moderation team for, well, lurking. There we go. I'll be back tomorrow night with some of them to do the buses type thing. Until then, if you have been, thank you very much for watching.